Hello students, welcome to online classes of Shri Mahavir International School. So today dear students, we are going to discuss about the second chapter of your science, that is components of food. As you know, in previous chapter we have discussed that from where that food comes. Okay, so what are the sources of food and the ingredients and why the food is essential for us, everything we have discussed in previous chapter. So in this second chapter we will discuss components of food. As you know that whatever we eat, that contain the nutrients that provide us nutrition. So components of food means the nutrients of food which are present in our diet, and that is most essential for our body to survive, for maintenance, for proper growth, etc. So in this chapter, dear students, we will discuss about the significance of nutrients and the 8 healthy stay healthy deficiency disease. It's mean we will discuss that disease, what kind of disease can be occur if we do not eat the proper diet, and we can say that balanced diet. So here previous connect what we have studied in previous chapter, the food we eat has the useful substances called the nutrients, and it is important for us to eat a balanced diet to grow well. As I told you dear students, balanced diet which contain the proper nutrients, and that is most essential for us to survive, for proper growth, etc. And if we do not eat that balanced diet, then what will happen? We can suffer from the many deficiency disease are called, which occur if there is a lack of required nutrients. Now we have learned in the previous chapter that the food is essential for our body, as it keeps us healthy and help in growth of our body. So food contains some useful substances that the organism need to live and grow. So these useful components are called the nutrients. So in nutrients we will discuss here a list types of nutrients which are present in our diet. We will discuss about that essential components, that is carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and the minerals. And our food can contain the more than one nutrients, and that is good for us. For example, if you are eating the meat, then it is rich source of the protein, but it also contains the fat and the vitamins. So fat, vitamins, proteins, they all are beneficial for us. Our body some nutrients in large quantity, okay, and some in small quantity. It's mean sometimes we require in large quantity some nutrients, and sometimes we have to require that in a small quantity some nutrients. So here the significance or of nutrients, in which we will discuss that why that nutrients is essential for us and why should we intake that nutrients. So in the series, first we will talk about the carbohydrate. Students, tell me one thing. Whenever you eat the chapatis, that rice, the potato, okay, after 2 3 hours, you get the energy? Yes, we get the energy. From where that energy has come? Yes, that has come from our food. And in our food, there was a nutrients, that is carbohydrates. So we can say the source of energy and the food items containing the carbohydrates are called the energy giving food. It means carbohydrate is called the energy giving food. So simply we can understand energy giving food means it provides us energy to do work and different kind of activities. Here a fact file: cellulose is a form of carbohydrates that cannot be digested by humans. It is present in the cell wall of a plant cell. Cell wall. Students, in further classes you will discuss about the structure of a plant cell and the animal cell, which contain the nucleus and the other organelles, and there will be present a cell wall which provide the proper shape and further transportation and so on. So it is present in the cell wall. So cellulose is present in the cell wall of the plant cell. Okay, so in only plant cell cellulose is present, but that is cannot be digested by human beings. Human beings cannot digest the cellulose simply. But what about the other animals like the cow and the buffalo? They can digest that cellulose because they contain a special kind of bacteria. Okay, and they are ruminant animals. You know, rumination process take place in that animal. That's why they can digest the uh, cellulose, which is hard for the human being because we cannot digest. So they are present in our food in mainly two forms. We are talking about the carbohydrates. We are talking about carbohydrates. So they are present in our food mainly two forms. In two forms, carbohydrate is present. First one, that is a starch, and second one, that is sugar. So potato, bread, rice, these are the rich source of the starch. Example, if we talk about that, in example we can say that the food rich in sugar are glucose and the grapes. So glucose and grapes are the example of sugar, and that potato bread are example of starch, but they both are kind of carbohydrate. One thing just keep in your mind: glucose is the simplest carbohydrate, that is glucose. Why do we call it very simplest? Because it can be digested very easily. That's why a patient required that glucose. Here we can read it is easily utilized by the body to release energy. That's why this is the reason that glucose is given to patient who require the energy urgently. Here some examples uh, of source of carbohydrate, that is potato, bread, rice and honey, which you have seen in your daily life. Here is the activity, dear friends. In this activity we will discuss to taste the presence of the starch in the food sample. One activity I hope you have still remember, that in which we uh, we tried to find the presence of starch. Then I told you activity in which the leaf of the plant which contain the starch. Then what kind of activities performed, I hope you know very well, but let me tell you again the activity, that whatever you are eating, how we are able to know that the food which contain the starch. Simply what you have to do, you have to take a test tube, the like this structure test tube. Okay, it's a made of glass. Okay, in this test tube you have to put that food whatever you are eating. If you are just suppose that you are eating a solid food, then simply you have to crush that food and put inside that test tube. A little amount of water you can add for your convenient. Then you have to mix the iodine solution, that is iodine solution. If you add the iodine solution, and if that food turns the blue black color, and it means the presence of starch. I hope you have understood. In next Second activity, to taste the presence of sugar in a food sample. Now here we have to know that how we are able to know that the food whatever you are eating that contain the sugar. For this, take the food sample. If the food sample is solid crush, again that things you have taken that solid thing, then you have to crush, and you have to add some little amount of water, and again you have to take a test tube, you have to put that food, and have to add some amount of what, yeah, water. But here is difference. Instead of iodine solution, you have to insert, it's mean you have to draw Benedict solution. Actually Benedict solution is a chemical, okay, which used to find out the presence of sugar, and it represent the blue color. Okay, whenever you will see the Benedict solution, it show the blue color. Okay, now again active this test tube, you have put the food, you have add some little amount of water, then you have added the Benedict solution. Now what you have to do, okay, now what you have to do, you have to heat it for a few minutes. For few minutes you have to heat it by the using any burner. Okay, you have to heat it. Then what happens, if that food turns the brick red, brick red, if it turns the brick red color, it's mean it rich in sugar. It rich in sugar, it's mean the large quantity of sugar is present in that food. And if it turns only yellow color, it's mean the level of sugar is low. Sorry, if it turns the yellow color, it's mean the level of sugar is medium, and if it turns the green color, it's mean the level of sugar is very low. The next, about the fat. Have you heard the name of fat? Yes, I hope you have heard, because this is also a major components of our diet and of our food, and we can say this is the components and nutrients of our food. Fat is also required for our body because they also provide us energy. Like the carbohydrate, fat also provide the energy, but in comparison of carbohydrate, they give twice the energy than carbohydrates. Yes, twice the energy than carbohydrate. It's mean the first priority, the first position who has taken fat in according to providing that energy to the human being and other organism like whatever. So food items containing fats are also called the energy giving foods. Here I have told you that fat also provide the energy, then we can call fat also energy giving food. So what kind of sources are there from which we can get the fat? So coconut oil, nuts, almonds, butter, creams are rich source of the fat. On the basis of the source from which fats are obtained, they are classified in two: animals and plants. Animal and plants means we can obtain fat from animals as well as from the plants. Here, milk. Do you take milk? Yes, of course you have to take, because it contain what, fat. Milk product like the butter, ghee are the source of fat, because these are animal food, and we can say we have taken this milk from the animals, and it contains the ghee, butter. Okay, and if we talk about the plant, then vegetables, oil are the source of the plant fat, like the peanut. Okay, And fat, why we require the fat? Because it keeps the body warm, and extra fat are stored in our body, it is stored in excess, it causes the obesity. We require the fat, but in large amount, in large quantity. If you have stored in our body that fat, that is harmful, because it can increase your weight, and that can be causes the obesity. Now activity third. In this activity, what you have to know, to taste the presence of fat in a given food. For tasting the presence of fat, what you have to do, take the food samples. Simply you have taken food samples, yes, we have taken. Now rub it on the piece of paper. Sorry, here you have to take a paper, like you have taken a white paper. You have to take some piece of that food, like you have taken the peanuts, okay, groundnuts seed, groundnut seeds you have taken. You have just crushed that seed, and you have to put that crushed seeds on this paper, and you have to simply rub it. Okay, after some time you will see that it has become translucent. It has become translucent. Now students, let me ask you, do you know the transparent, translucent and opaque object? I hope you know, because in previous class you have studied. But let me tell you once again that transparent means the things, okay, by which light can easily pass, that is called transparent. Okay, simply you can understand like a plain glass by which through which you can see, okay, one side to another side very easily. And then what about the translucent? Translucent means, okay, partially light can pass through any object. Partially means that half. Okay, example, the tracing paper, that is called translucent. And opaque means opaque, sorry, opaque object. Opaque means that light cannot pass through any object, okay, through that object. It means that is opaque object. For example, if this is the wood, okay, but light cannot pass through the wood, so the wood is called opaque. So now we were as we were discussing about the presence of fat, how do we know that on the paper you have crushed that groundnut seed, and now you can see a lubrication on the surface of that paper, and now partially light can pass through that paper. It's mean that has become a translucent. So therefore you can understand, and you are able to know the presence of fat in any food. Now the third, that is protein. Students, the requirement of protein is most essential for each and every human beings, but it depend on the age. For the kids, for the child, it required in large amount. For the adult, it required also large amount, but not a comparison in kids. But yeah, protein is essential because it helps in building new cells and repairing worn out cells. Building cells and repairing worn out cells, it's mean overall we can say it provide the growth. How can we grow? Because of protein. So it provide the growth of our body, so it must essential for us. And it regulate the function and protect our body from the different infections also. So on the basis of the source from which protein are obtained, they are called in two types, simply the animal protein and the plant protein. We can obtain protein from the animal as well as the plant. If we talk about the animal, then from where we can obtain the protein. If we talk about the example of animal, so fish, the meat of fish which contain the protein, and milk, egg, meat. So these are the animal food. These are animal food which contain the protein. Here the example, uh, meat, fish, egg, milk, as I told you. And protein which are obtained from plants product are called the plant protein. Pulses, dal, we can say in our language, that soybean, grains, cashews. Okay, these contain the protein also, but these are called plant protein. Here's some pictures: pulses, soybeans, grains, cashews. I can zoom it. Yeah, pulses. Can you see? So these are pulses. What kind of components these contain? These contain the proteins. Yeah, and here soybean. These all the pictures are showing us that the food which contain the protein. So looking very fine. They are source of plant protein. Now see students. Here another activity to taste the presence of protein in a food samples. Students, you are eating any kind of food. How we are able to know that food you are eating which contain the protein? So for this, again we have to perform an activity, and for this activity you have to take a test tube made of glass. Now the food whatever you have taken, you have to crush it. Okay, after then add some water to it. You have put the food, and then you have for example, you have add a food and little amount of water also here, and shake it well. The two drops of the copper sulfate solution. Copper sulfate solution, student, this is also another kind of a chemical which is present in a liquid form. Copper sulfate solution, you have to add only 2 drops, and then 10 drops of the sodium hydroxide and the caustic soda, then 10 drop of sodium hydroxide and the caustic soda solution, and again you have to shake it well, this step too. If the color of the solution changes in purple or the violet color, if the change if it change the color in purple and violet form, so it confirms the presence of the protein. It confirms the protein. Vitamin, students, have you heard the name of vitamins? Yes, of course you have heard, because the fruits which contain the minerals as well as the vitamins. Okay, like the some uh, like lemon, orange, which contain the vitamin C. Okay, so here vitamins are also the major components of our food, and we must take the vitamins because it protects us from the different types of disease. So here the vitamin protect us from our body from the disease. Do you like the disease? Of course we do not like the disease. So prevent ourselves from the different kind of disease, we must take the vitamins diet. So why do we eat the vitamins diet? Because it keeps our bones, teeth, gums, and eyes healthy. And food items which contain the vitamins are called the protective food. Vitamins are required by our body in very small quantity. They are very important for the proper functioning of our body, and vitamins are of the different types like the A, B, C, D, E, and the K. Here the vitamin A, D, E, and K are the fat soluble vitamin. Fat soluble means it can dissolve, you can mix up it in the fat, and vitamin B and C, that is water soluble. Water soluble means in water you can mix and you can dissolve that vitamin. Here the functions of different kind of vitamins. As we see students in this table, this is must, it's a must for you. You must learn this table. Okay, so here the in first column, that is a vitamin. Second, from where do we get that vitamin, like the sources and the functions of that vitamin. If you talk about the first vitamin, that is vitamin A. Carrot, papaya, fish oil and mangoes, these are the fruits, and if you eat this fruit, it means you are obtaining, you are taking and the vitamin A. And why do we take this vitamin A? Because it keeps the eyes and the skin healthy. Yes, we must keep our eyes healthy, because without eyes we are not able to see any kind of things. So you can understand that how much this vitamin is essential and important for us. Now next, the vitamin B, whole the cereals and the eggs, meat and the milk, for proper functioning of our nervous, muscles and digestive system. Do you know the nervous means whatever the things is going on outside our body and inside our body, how we are able to know? Because of the nervous system and the muscles. Yeah, the digestive system. Vitamin C, citrus fruit. Citrus fruit means the sure food. Okay, so have you eaten the lemon? Yeah, the lemon is called the citrus fruit, orange, and it keeps the healthy teeth and the gums. For our teeth and gums, vitamin C is required. If we talk about the vitamin D, and from where can we get the vitamin D? Paneer, fish, liver oils, egg yolk, sunlight. Yeah, here sunlight, it's not a type of food, but we can get the vitamin D from sunlight. In morning time, if you are taking the sunlight, it means you are obtaining vitamin D, and it keeps up and these all product keeps and makes body and the teeth strong. And vitamin E, the pears, eggs, nuts, and it keeps the skin healthy. Vitamin K, spinach. Spinach in Hindi you can say palak. Okay, cabbage, cauliflower, for clotting, the clotting of blood. Students, I want to tell you something about the clotting of blood. Sometimes you get injured by any sharp thing. For example, this is your hand. Okay, and it has been cut by any sharp thing like blade and any knife. Okay, it's bleeding. Now it's bleeding, but after few seconds you will notice that the blood, the running water has stopped. That one running water has stopped, and at the place of wound, okay, a thick layer of blood has become. So this is called the clotting. This is called the clotting, and this called the clotting of blood. And why, how this is how is this possible? This is possible if you are eating what? Spinach, cabbage and cauliflower. I hope students you are understanding well, and you will study at your home. Okay students, in next video we will discuss the activity number 5. Okay, have a nice day.